name is Nompumelelo. It's a Zulu name, which means success in English.
The future. Nompumelelo born into a constantly evolving South Africa.
I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society.
Goal, Bafana, Bafana! Goal for South Africa!
With a population that has outgrown basic infrastructure, economic growth has slowed. Government is now desperately trying to catch up, spending trillions, laying down new foundations over the next 15 years.
Infrastructure is the catalyst that can change this country.
Spending on infrastructure amounted to 1 trillion rands over the past 5 years.
The availability of infrastructure and its accessibility is critical for a growing nation.
The plan is simple. Build infrastructure to facilitate a growing economy, creating more jobs and in turn growing the middle class. At the dawn of democracy, just 350,000 people that could call themselves black middle class. 20 years on and there are 4.2 million, and that number is growing. But even with sound infrastructure, none of this is possible if we don't fix education first. If Nompumelelo went to school today, almost half of her class would drop out before matriculating. Not all pupils have access to textbooks, libraries, and well-educated teachers. Many still make do without a roof over their heads. So, what will Nompumelelo South Africa look like in 2030? Introducing minimum norms and standards for schools, government aims to eradicate mud schools in the next 3 years. The promise is that equal education will be the driver for social change and innovation. The potential is definitely there. In Natal, Sandile Ngobo developed the first ever digital laser, changing electronics manufacturing forever. Alexander Fourie runs iFix, an electronics repair chain he created at 21. Max Lichaba built a jewelry empire that exports to the world. And at 11, musician Daniel Peterson made history as South Africa's youngest university student.
I see a hunger in young people for learning, for skills development. They flood the universities in January, wanting to get entry. That's a great thing. Our job now is to make sure there's enough universities and that they can come out there with a good degree, with a good skill, with something that can provide for them and their families.
They will provide for the state too. A growing middle class means more taxpayers, whose money will maintain future infrastructure and help fuel government's big dreams.
10 years from now, we see an economy that is stronger, more dynamic, more inclusive, that bring women and the rural poor into the economic mainstream. I will see cities that are more integrated, where taxis and buses and trains seamlessly provide services to our people.
But when there are mega projects, corruption often rears its ugly head. Infrastructural graft is already costing government up to 30 billion rand a year. Coming with it, mounting pressure on government to deliver.
2012 was a bruising year for South Africa.
The country's poor are running out of patience and are tired of broken promises. Many are still waiting for basic services that will help restore dignity to their everyday lives.
I named her Nompumelelo because I'm just looking towards her future. I just want her to be success.
South Africa will struggle to build the future and unite the nation if the odds are stacked against children like Nompumelelo yet to take her first steps. Yusuf Omar, Johannesburg.
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com.